Welcome back to the Lose Weight by Eating podcast. I'm Audrey Johns, and today I wanted to talk to you about keeping costs low for food when you're trying to eat healthy. And I know very often people will say it's really expensive to eat healthy, and it can be, but it doesn't have to be. And so this week, not only did I want to bring you this podcast talking about how you can eat healthy and save money, and also bring you a full meal plan that has lots of low calorie, healthy meals that are actually going to be low in cost. So if you're looking for that, you can absolutely look in the show notes. And sorry if you hear some clicking, because I want to make sure that I can go over the meal plan and talk to you about why it's going to be low cost. So as we know, first of all, I want to talk about meat. So we're talking about chicken, beef, pork. All of these are going to be the biggest ticket items in your grocery basket. They're going to be the most expensive. And right now, everyone is so hyper focused on more protein, more protein, more protein, that it makes it seem like eating healthy is even that much more expensive. And it can be, but you can still get a lot of protein into your diet and it doesn't have to break the bank. So, some of the proteins I want to talk about are going to be very low in cost. Maybe not as low in cost as they used to be, but significantly lower. We're going to be talking about things like eggs. Eggs are actually relatively low calorie if you think about comparing them to, say, chicken or beef. Same with some cheese or beans or even sausage, if you're okay with eating it, like a good healthy Italian turkey sausage, and also some ground meats such as ground chicken. So for this meal plan, I feel like the easiest way to teach you how to eat low cost and healthy is to show you. So I'm going to be going through this week's meal plan and just kind of explaining why it's low cost and how to make it low cost. So first of all, if you are familiar with my meal plans, I always alternate lunches and breakfasts. So when you get one of my free meal plans at loseweightbyeating.com, you'll notice that for the full week, you'll only have 2 breakfasts and 2 lunches. And that is done very strategically because I find that we really only need 1 or 2 for the whole week, and we can save money and keep costs low by just choosing 2. So for this week, I chose an oatmeal casserole. It's a really big casserole full of delicious oatmeal and berries, and you can keep it high protein by adding in some protein powder. Now, if you don't already have protein powder, sure, that may end up adding some costs to the bottom line, but it's something that will last for a long time and it's pantry stable. So you can bake this entire oatmeal casserole, and then you just pull out a slice every single day, or every other day, I should say, for your breakfasts. The next item is going to be breakfast burritos, and sure, you can add meat to them. I find that there's definitely enough protein with all of the eggs in there. And it's a great way to go ahead and meal prep as well. So you can make all the breakfast burritos ahead of time, wrap them, put them in the fridge or freezer, and then just heat them up on your way out of the house. So since I mentioned the burritos, for our very first lunch, they're going to be wraps. So do you see I'm reusing the burrito wraps for the lunches, maybe not every lunch, and then also for one of the dinners. So when you do buy one of these items that's very specific to a recipe, I find it's helpful to try to find other recipes to use it up in. Now, you can also just take the burrito wraps, toss them in the freezer for next time. They will hold very well. Or you can do as I've done, like I said, and make some chicken wraps. So chicken is expensive. So I've tried to push it all into our lunches, make it something really high protein and high flavor so that you will want to eat it every single day and you won't be tempted to go out to lunch with your friends or to eat the pizza that somebody is ordering into the office. So for our first lunches, you'll be doing the low calorie, high protein chicken wraps. And those have a very few amount of ingredients. We're just looking at the burrito wraps that we've already purchased for our breakfast burritos. We're going to do some chicken. Sure, that's a little high price, but don't worry, we're going to use it for our other lunches. And then we've got some bell peppers and onions, all very low cost. And then we've got our low calorie green goddess salad, which will incorporate some of that leftover chicken, but will also incorporate some of the eggs we bought. Do you see how we're working this in? We're kind of trying to spread out the money or spread out the proteins so that they last longer. So we feel full and satiated and good and full of energy throughout the day without breaking the bank. Now, what I do really want to note first is that I make sure to alternate. If I have a breakfast burrito, I don't want to do a chicken wrap for lunch right after it. That's, too much. Many people will find that to be too many carbs back to back. I'm okay with it. You might not be. So, for instance, Monday, you would have the low calorie oatmeal casserole for breakfast, the low calorie chicken wraps for lunch, and then our first dinner would be a plant-based or nearly plant-based meal. Now, again, I know everyone is so hyper-focused on proteins right now. And though I do not find that they are necessary for healthy eating or for weight loss, just because that hasn't worked for me does not mean it doesn't work for you, right? So I've made sure to add protein to all of the dinners as well, even the dinners that include pasta. So the first one is actually going to be a zucchini pasta. So that's really easy. We don't have to worry about carbs. It is that viral tomato and feta baked together, tossed with pasta meal. I try to do a meatless Monday on Mondays. And so this was just a natural way to add that in. Feta is very low cost. I get a block of feta every single week at the grocery store. It costs me about $4.50 on sale. Somehow the same block is always on sale. I find that if it's in block form, it is less expensive. So always look when you're buying cheese, if it's shredded or if it's crumbled like feta, look at the ounces. Don't look at how big the package is, but look at the ounces and then compare that in price. So you're getting more for your money. So for our second dinner, we're going to do bean and cheese burritos. We are reusing those wraps that we used in our breakfast burritos, that we use in our chicken wraps, so that we can use them all up and get the most for our money. Now, because this is the last recipe that I will be noting that does have a burrito wrap, you can absolutely get the carb balance wraps. If you're looking to save the most money, obviously you're going to go for what's on sale, but the carb balance wraps are really great options if you are carb sensitive. What I also love about these bean and cheese burritos is how low cost they are. A can of beans is $1. So you've got a whole meal here. You probably already have the cheese. The beans are only going to be $1 and you already bought the burrito wrap. So we're looking at a $1 to $2 dinner for the whole family. Talk about an amazing, amazing deal. Now, if you want to boost the protein more, you can add in some of that leftover chicken that you made for your lunches. You can add in some unflavored collagen powder in with the beans and mix it in there just before you serve. That will boost the protein as well. The next one is going to be the low calorie chicken lettuce wraps. This is where I'm using the ground chicken. So ground meats are going to be a lot lower in price, but they have just as much protein, right? These low calorie chicken lettuce wraps actually went viral on my Facebook page this week because I posted them and I was like, hey, you can have like 8 of these for 200 and some odd calories. So what I will note on these is if something calls for, say, butter lettuce, if it's on sale, it's super low cost. If it's not, it's like $5 for a head. So a great swap for that would be romaine or even cabbage. I find that the green cabbage is a little bit thinner than the red and are great for lettuce wraps. And we're talking about the little little lettuce cups that you would get like at PF Chang's. And these are actually a copycat recipe. The next item I'm doing for this week would be Thursday night, would be the low calorie pasta casserole. Now, keep in mind before all your bells and whistles go off and you're like, pasta, no, this is a fiber balanced pasta that's super low calorie, lower in carbs. However, go to the grocery store, go down the pasta aisle, and the next time you see that bright orange package of Banza pasta on sale, stock up. It is the best. It is my go-to, my favorite. The only quirk about this pasta is that you want to cook it on a low boil or ideally a simmer, and don't mix it too often, just often enough so that they don't stick, because they can kind of fall apart a little bit. However, the recipe does come with the fiber balance and it's low cost. We're talking about a really low cost dinner here. A box of pasta, even the more expensive pastas, is going to be what, $3 top level. And then we've got our marinara sauces and any added in extra veggies that you have, or any added in protein that you choose. And that's all there. But we're looking at maybe an all-in $5 dinner for the family. The next one, I cannot stop making and eating, and it is so low in calories, but so filling. I honestly feel like everyone needs to get out there and try this right away. It's my low calorie portobello mushroom pizzas. Now, when I made these for my partner, he is very health conscious, but he's a little picky from time to time too. And so I warned him, I said, listen, don't expect these to taste like pizza. Expect these to taste like a stuffed pepper, but instead it's a stuffed mushroom. And he loved them. And I make them all the time. They're so easy, they're so fast, they're low cost, and they're extremely filling. So this dinner we're looking at, I like to have two and then I'm completely stuffed. So we're looking at maybe $5 per person. I know it's a little bit on the higher end for this whole week, but it would be for Friday night. So maybe a little bit of a celebratory dinner. The next one is another pasta dish. Surprise, surprise, pasta is a low cost. And I'm not afraid of any carbs, guys. I'm sorry, this is not a keto podcast. This is not a keto website. However, this low calorie spinach pasta is so great with the Banza protein pasta. So feel free to go that route. It is a plant-based or nearly plant-based meal. You're going to have spinach and walnuts are going to be your protein source in this. If you have a Trader Joe's by you, that's where you want to buy your walnuts. They have the best walnuts. They have the best prices. I know that walnuts are a little bit expensive. So if you're looking to save money, you want to kind of keep them as an ingredient and not as a snack. To keep them holding longer, put them in the fridge. They will hold a lot longer for you. And then finally, it's Sunday night and it's going to be Mother's Day as well. So, feel free to take mom out. But my one pan baked sausage meal is really great, really low cost. We are using all natural turkey Italian sausages. You don't even have to add any herbs or spices because the sausages are so flavorful that they end up flavoring all of the vegetables in this one pan dish. So, some tips to cut even more costs from your weekly shopping haul. Do you remember how we talked about alternating the breakfasts and lunches? So you just choose two and you alternate them. And that really keeps costs low. Why not do that for dinner? Now, I get that dinner is more of it's the end of the day. Some people really love to cook, some people don't. And so I get that it's also very communal. Feel free to choose more than just two of these items. Feel free to choose three or to choose four. Feel free to make the low calorie bean and cheese burritos for the whole week if you're really looking to keep costs low. So you can really kind of customize your meals and find the meals that are going to be lowest in price for you. When I figured this out, I was figuring it for a 3 people household because that's what I live in. Sometimes we have a couple extras. I was trying to figure out, just kind of going off of a good average between sale price and, normal not on sale price. This is going to be about $60 all in to feed 3 people for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Amazing, right? And it's healthy and it's low calorie and it's absolutely crave worthy. So let's talk a little bit more about saving money at the grocery store. You guys, if you've listened to my podcast before, you've probably heard me talk about shopping the perimeter. So the perimeter of the store is where you're going to find, just think about your store kind of like you're just going to follow along the walls of the grocery store. So I always park by the produce section. I walk into the produce and I fill my cart with lots and lots of produce. These are low cost items. I can get 2 cucumbers for $3. I can get 2 bell peppers, sometimes for 2, sometimes for $3. These are low cost items. So start there and fill up your cart with these low cost, healthy items. Now, really quickly, before we go from the produce section to the meat section, again, I know people are so hyper focused on protein, but I do want to remind you that when you eat the foods that the hunger receptors in your brain are craving, you're less hungry. And what your hunger receptors need are fruits and vegetables. So I get that people don't like carbs. I understand if they don't work well for your body. However, carbs from fruits and vegetables are not the same carbs you would get from a loaf of bread. These are the kind of carbs that are going to feed your brain. They're going to give you fuel. These are what you need. Almost everything in the produce section, almost everything, will naturally boost your metabolism and speed up fat loss. So I get it, they're carbs, but these are the carbs that help you lose weight. Next, we're going to walk on over to the meat section. I'm just kind of following along how my grocery store goes. I get that yours might be set up differently, but on to the butcher. We want to look for what's on sale. Let's start at what's on sale. So I have found that most often ground meats are the way to go. And ground turkey, when it's on sale, is a steal. Ground chicken is a great bargain as well. Ground beef can be hit and miss on price, as can ground buffalo, which is one of my all-time favorites. It tastes just like beef. But also, all of these items can easily be tossed in the freezer and stored for later. So when you find these items on sale, double up. I know your budget might not call for it this week, but you'll save money next week. And then if you want to do fish, look at the lower priced fish. Obviously, salmon is going to be a little high up there. What about shrimp? If you like shrimp, it's very low in cost when you compare it. We've got the sausages. Again, you want to be careful with what kind of sausage you get. You want to make sure that you're getting something all natural and healthy. So turkey sausages are a really great way to go. And they're so packed full of flavor, especially the Italian turkey sausages, that you don't really have to add that much more into your meal because it's going to flavor everything for you. So you're kind of getting a double whammy. The next thing I do is I head on over to the eggs. I pick up my eggs for the week. And lately I have been eating a lot of eggs because, yes, eggs have gone up in price, but I can get a whole 12-pack of eggs for $3. And we're talking about organic, pasture raised. So the best you can get at an average grocery store. That will feed me, if there's 12, and I have 2 eggs for breakfast, that $3 will feed me for 6 days. See, this is a smart, low-cost protein. Next, I hit if I need any yogurt, if I need any of my coffee creamer, any of that. And then typically, what I really love is as I'm shopping my perimeter, it's almost like the grocery stores are like clued in that people are doing this now because things like the wraps, the burrito wraps, are actually on an end cap facing the perimeter now. So you can kind of stay away from all of these snack aisles, the cereal aisle, these aisles that will sell you convenience foods, but you're going to pay a premium for the convenience. Does that make sense? You're going to spend a little bit more on these convenience foods. Now, obviously, we're going to need to go down a couple of the aisles. We need to get some beans. Definitely look for when they're on sale. I almost always buy beans every single week. It's whatever's on sale. And then I just work with them. They're full of fiber. They're low cost. I mean, like $1 a can for organic beans. And they've got a ton of protein. And they're pantry stable. So I can stock up on them and I don't have to worry about them going bad. And then I often end up hitting the frozen fruit section. So because I mentioned the oatmeal casserole, I want to talk about frozen fruits, and then we'll also get to frozen veggies as well. So frozen fruits are actually washed and flash frozen almost immediately after being picked. So you're going to get all of the flavor. You're going to get all of the nutrition because they're flash frozen. And often you're going to save a ton of money. So what I recommend doing is when you're doing things like an oatmeal casserole, use frozen fruits. They are freezer stable. You can keep them all the time in your freezer. So stock up when the prices are low on those. Now, since I talked about frozen veggies, let's go down that aisle. Now, canned veggies have a bad rap, and for good reason. They're packed full of sodium, right? If that's all you can get, if that's all you can afford, it's a lot better than eating processed food, of course. But frozen vegetables are a staple in my home. When I first moved here to Idaho, our very first winter was called Snowmageddon. I'm not kidding. That's what everybody here called it because we had so much snow that the kids were out of school for 3 weeks. Now, given part of that was because of the holiday break, but 3 weeks of having a kid at home, having to feed her, and not being able to run out to the grocery store because we are snowed in. So it's very important for me to keep lots of stuff in the freezer, in the pantry. Pantry and freezer are my two keys. They are always completely packed because no matter what happens with the weather, with my health, like I sprained my ankle last week. So going to the grocery store isn't fun and I don't have to go so much, right? These items hold for so long. So I almost always get frozen peas. I love the bags of frozen cauliflower rice. So great. I love getting frozen kale. Really great option. You can add it to smoothies. You can add it to pasta dishes. For the low calorie spinach pasta, you can absolutely swap it out for frozen kale or get frozen spinach. These are great options. They are flash frozen. They're clean, then flash frozen. Do this for me. Say flash frozen 5 times fast. Holy moly, it's hard. Sorry, I keep tripping over that word, but these are great options because they are all natural. They do not have any added sugars or salts, and they're going to save you so much money. And then you always have the availability in your freezer or in your pantry for these healthy items. So stocking up on the healthy items that are freezer safe or pantry safe are going to be my last key note here. Whenever you see that beans are on sale, that pasta is on sale, especially that Banza pasta, you guys are going to try it out. It's amazing. Anytime frozen vegetables, frozen fruits are on sale, stock up. And then you can use them maybe on those weeks when they're not so inexpensive and or when Snowmageddon hits you guys or you sprain an ankle. So it's all about smart shopping. So for the link to the meal plan, I will put it in the show notes for you. Every single week, I offer a free meal plan. It comes with all of the recipes. It's all free and you can print it all out. It's a PDF. You can go through all of the recipes and find tips and tricks and shopping lists and all of that. I try to make it as easy for you as possible. I always keep this meal plan on the front of the Lose Weight by Eating website. You just visit loseweightbyeating.com. And here's the kicker. I never delete the old meal plans. They're all up there. I have got meal plans. Here, I'm going to scroll really quick, and it's a lot, but I have never deleted a single one. So we have got meal plans all the way from July of 2023. So we are getting really close to a full year of meal plans. So if this one does not sound appealing to you, there are lots of other ones for you to choose. So thank you for listening to the Lose Weight by Eating podcast. I'm sorry if this one was a little bit disjointed. Again, I am a little bit disjointed right now with my sprained ankle. It's kind of thrown a monkey wrench in my whole day, but I wanted to bring to you these tips on how to eat healthy without breaking the bank. Make sure to listen to all of the Lose Weight by Eating podcast episodes. I assure you, most of them are a lot more planned out than this one, but I hope that it has given you some insight and some tips so that you can eat healthy without hurting the budget. Thanks so much for tuning in. Be sure to check out loseweightbyeating.com. And if you have any questions, visit Lose Weight by Eating with Audrey Johns on Facebook and ask me a question. I'm the only one who runs that baby, and I answer all questions. All right, take care. Happy eating, happy cooking, and keep the budget low this week. Thanks so much. Bye.